It's personal between me and you, and I'm going to do you some serious harm, you big stiff idiot.
The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the official post-fight review for a couple of fights. Nathan Heaney versus Denzel Bentley, in which Nathan Heaney upsets Denzel Bentley via majority decision, and also Nick Ball versus Isaac Dogboe as he defeats him in the WBC featherweight final eliminator. Now, we'll start with Nathan Heaney, Denzel Bentley. This fight was for the middleweight British title of the world, and Nathan Heaney called this the FA Cup final of boxing because you know Nathan Heaney's from Stoke City, so he's a big fan of Stoke City FC. I know Denzel Bentley, I believe he likes Arsenal, so it kind of was like the FA Cup final. And if you watch the fight, it had the atmosphere of the FA Cup final. Heaney went into this fight against Bentley as a massive underdog. When I checked the odds, he was a plus 630, which, if you don't know, for people that bet and don't bet, if you bet $100 on Nathan Heaney, you would have gotten $630 back because he won the fight. We know Bentley because he's been in some big fights. You know, he fought Johnny Beck. We know him here in the States a lot more than we do Nathan Heaney. Bentley gave Johnny Beck what is his toughest fight to date, and he's been British champion not once but twice. And you know, he had a good knockout over Kieran Smith to get the title as well. So this is a fight that he was fully expected to win and win handily, and that's not what we got. We got Nathan Heaney, who, you know, when we look at his record, he only has like 6 knockouts in, was it 17 or 18 fights, but the guy knows who he is. He's a big middleweight, so he's got size, he's got range, and not just that, he knows how to stay within himself, and he's slick as well. And more importantly than that, I think the important thing for him in this fight with Bentley was that when Bentley would get to that middle distance, when he would close the range and land a big shot, you know, Heaney wasn't one to take a step back. Heaney wasn't one to give ground. He didn't have any problem exchanging, and his punches were accurate enough, and he was placing them just well enough for him to really, keep Bentley at a good, comfortable distance and just handle those nervy moments in the fight, because Bentley was punching with bad intentions. The only thing with Bentley was the fact that a lot of times I felt like he was loading up on his punches because he was trying to overpower Nathan Heaney, and Heaney, being, you know, the slick, defensively sound fighter he is, was able to really time a lot of the shots and catch a lot of the shots. So it was a close fight. I thought, you know, Nathan Heaney deserved the decision. He boxed well, and they say a lot of times, like, the good guys, they don't win, nice guys finish last, but this fight proved otherwise. Nathan Heaney, you know, this is my first time talking about him on video, but I've been aware of who Nathan Heaney is for like 6 years, because I remember when he first signed with Queensberry Promotions, and they announced him on Instagram, and I saw the little video package they did when he walked out, and he had all the Stoke City fans singing Tom Jones' My Delilah. So he caught my eye back then, and I've kept tabs on him, but I just never made a video about him. So this is my first time really paying undivided attention to him since early days when he turned pro, and he performed exceptionally well. Denzel Bentley was ranked number 9 coming into this fight in the WBO. I would fully expect now that Nathan Heaney is going to enter the rankings because he's British champion. He beat a guy that was in the rankings, and fair play to him, as the Brits would say. Kudos to him. He won there tonight, and he showed why you don't judge fights solely off of what's on paper, and you don't judge fights based on how guys have performed against other high-level fighters. Styles make fights, and he showed it once again. So shout out to Nathan Heaney. This is a guy, we complain a lot about fighters that don't sell tickets in boxing, but this guy does sell tickets, and this is a guy that he literally will deliver personally. If you're in his area, he'll deliver tickets himself. He'll sign the tickets himself. He's a very personable guy from what I've gathered. He's a guy that's really cares about his fans, and he fought tonight with every last ounce of determination and grit he had. So shout out to him. He has overachieved in a major way. He won a fight. He beat the odds in a fight where he was a massive underdog. And This fight with Bentley and Heaney reminded me of why I do have a soft spot in my heart for British boxing, because every now and then you get one of these British title fights and they're amazing, and this is one of them. I still want to see Denzel Bentley in important fights in the middleweight division. Just because he lost doesn't mean I'm going to throw him to the wayside. Denzel Bentley is still an amazing fighter, and he still has value to give to the middleweight division, and there's still more great fights left in him. So it's a, he didn't get blown out. It was a close fight. But the right man got the nod, so shout out to Stoke City's very own Nathan, the Hitman Heaney, for winning the British middleweight title over Bentley as the underdog in the FA Cup final of boxing, But, yeah, switching gears, though. The fight that I really tuned into this card for was actually the co-main event, which I didn't even know it was the co-main event. I thought it was going to be the main event. But Nick Ball, Isaac Dogboe, very important fight for the featherweight division because, number one, it's a WBC final eliminator. And number two, I looked at it to be a good step up in class for Nick Ball. Nick Ball's been a guy that has really been capturing the imaginations of a lot of boxing fans. Being such a short, stocky guy, but so explosive. Sometimes I've jokingly called him the Scouse Gervonta Davis because sometimes in some of his fights, he's looked to have that kind of explosiveness. But this was a different type of test for him against, Dogboe, a guy that's been around the block, who's long on the tooth, who's, very seasoned in the sport of boxing. And this fight was the kind of fight I thought it would be. It was a fight that was oftentimes fought in close quarters. It was a fight that oftentimes saw, Ball trying to push Dogboe back. I believe it was the second or third round. I can't remember if it was second or third round, but there was a round early in the fight where Dogboe threw a right hand that didn't land, and Ball kind of lost his balance, and it looked like a knockdown. But then upon further review, the referee actually made a good call. So shout out to the referee for making a good call, not calling that a knockdown. And then the following round, Ball actually scored a knockdown on Dogboe. I didn't like how the referee didn't tell Ball to go back to the neutral corner, but nonetheless, Dogboe was smothering his punches a lot in the fight, and Ball used his youth and his punch output and his strength to outwork him, outvolume him, and slowly but surely pierce the defense of Dogboe and outwork him to a decision. He couldn't get him out of there. Dogboe's a tough veteran fighter. We know what he brings to the table. So it was a hell of a fight. It was a great fight, and probably it is at this point to date, the biggest win in the career of Nick Ball. And now with him winning this fight against Dogboe, you look at Nick Ball. He's good. I don't know what the WBC is gonna do. Maybe Nick Ball winds up because right now Rey Vargas is the champion. I know I heard things about him fighting Brandon Figueroa, but I'm not sure if that's signed, sealed, and delivered. So if there's nothing there, maybe they make Ball versus Figueroa as an eliminator, or maybe Ball fights Vargas. I'm not sure what the situation is going to be, but Nick Ball is going to be in a even bigger fight real soon. It'll either be against the champion, Rey Vargas, or it'll be against the interim champion, Brandon Figueroa. And he's going to be someone to watch in this featherweight division because Nick Ball, he's got a fan-friendly style. He's going to let his hands go. And, even in this fight, there were some times where I saw him actually working a little bit out that southpaw stance. So I think there's even more in his skill set that he hasn't quite shown us, because I saw some things in this fight that he did that were a little different to what I had seen in the past. So good stuff from him there. And definitely a hallmark win in his career. So there was that. And then last but not least, I want to highlight this, and then I'll end the video. On the undercard, in the early stages of the undercard, there was another fight in the welterweight division that does concern notable fighters, both domestically and that does pertain to fighters here in the States. You had Ekow Essuman, the British welterweight champion, taking on, a guy that I do got a bit of a soft spot for, and horrible Harry Scarff, Now, Harry Scarff's a fighter that 2-3 years ago fought Trojan Troy Williamson at 154, and I thought he was severely robbed in that fight, to the point where I've even literally got into back and forth with Troy Williamson on Instagram about it. But he was robbed, and then his career went through a period of inactivity and whatnot. So he was taking a big step up in class against Ekow Essuman, who Essuman had proven himself in this weight class against some names domestically, most notably against Chris Congo. And it was a fight where horrible Harry Scarff lived up to his nickname. He smothered Ekow Essuman early and often. He was slick when he needed to be. He was landing that jab. He was landing the straight right hand very consistently throughout the fight. And Essuman had a hard time really just figuring out the awkward style of Harry Scarff. And that's how the judges saw it. That's how I saw it. And you know, Harry Scarff also scores upset victory on the card. So there was 2 upsets on this card. Ekow Essuman, I know, was ranked extremely high in the IBF because I remember when I was talking about Boots, I think he was ranked like number 4 or 5 in the IBF. So, you know, Harry Scarff might find himself in the IBF rankings. He's going to find himself potentially entering the landscape of this new welterweight division in the post-Crawford Spence era. So look out for that name. But a good win for him, for a guy that has been a hard luck fighter, who has struggled to maybe get the decisions in the big ones. You know, I know he's fought like Liam Smith, and then he fought Troy Williamson, and now he's in the lower weight class at welterweight. So he's, you know, good for him, man. Good. It's good to see the hardworking, nice guy, blue collar fighters get over the hump in boxing. So overall, look, I enjoyed the card. It was probably one of the best Frank Warren cards, top to bottom, I've watched in a long, long time. A lot of times his undercards are not that good, but this one did not disappoint, and it was just overall a very satisfactory afternoon/evening of boxing. So that's my take on all the notable fights on the card. You know, what's his name? Nathan Heaney upsets the apple card and becomes British champion against Denzel Bentley to announce himself to the boxing world on the world stage. Nick Ball scores the biggest win of his career against former world champion Isaac Dogboe to, you know, place himself in prime position for a WBC featherweight title shot. And horrible Harry Scarff gets the biggest win of his career as he upsets one of the highest ranked welterweights in the world, at least for the IBF and in the UK, in Ekow Essuman, to become British welterweight champion and announce himself on the world level. So let me know what you guys thought in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dang. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this video, click right here and make sure you subscribe. Much love from sunny South Florida.